Yes, Spurs fans, welcome back to the Irish Hotspur here. This is going to be your fan show, your call-in show for what is a difficult time. Once again, we find ourselves in at Tottenham Hotspur. I think we're going to be centering it mostly around Thomas Frank. I think these last two games were make or break for him. I know we're discussing like 5, 6 games that potentially we would give him. I think Jerome and maybe some others were right by probably saying, you know what, I think it's these next two games that we need to be very worried about to see if the guy can be able to be given more time. We now find ourselves, I believe, 15th in the league, only a point off of the likes of Bournemouth. And then I think it's Leeds United and the likes of Forest that are only so far behind us, really. I know we're about 4 or 5 points off of the top 10, but we're also 4 or 5 points away from being tied with Leeds United at the very bottom of the Premier League. So things have to change quickly. Do you think Thomas Frank can salvage it? Do you think he can turn things around? Or do you think the writing's already on the wall with the guy? We're already out of both domestic cups. I don't think anyone has any real dreams of going that deep into the Champions League, especially with how we've been playing so far this season. And can we, I think, try to potentially push a little bit further up in that Premier League table? Because we only have so many games left, I think, until there really starts to become a gap between the top 10 and the rest of the Premier League here. But Dave, another call-in show, and look forward to it because, it's just one of those disastrous roller coaster type situations once again with Spurs.
Yeah, look, I'm just sick of being here at this point, to be honest with you, Jack. I think I speak for many. It's, where we are, it's killing, and the way we're playing as well as killing our love for the game, killing our love, sort of for the club. And we're just in turmoil once again, new season, same old Tottenham Hotspur. Oh, we're in a right mess. I can't believe that this guy is also the third highest paid manager in the
Yeah, that
in
was
the Premier
disgusting.
League, like you sent me yesterday. I mean, that's absolutely disgusting that this guy's on 8 million. But look, David Ornstein has just released an article basically saying that Spurs are in advanced talks with Conor Gallagher, that they have put in a 40 million bid, and Gallagher is keen on the move. And although Aston Villa, they say, have reached agreement with Gallagher, they're still trying to negotiate over the price so that they can stay within financial regulations. So hopefully Spurs can seal a march here, because we badly need reinforcements. Players seems to be dropping every single game, and none of them look like they're going to be back anytime soon either. So
Yeah. I, I just, I just hope that, Thomas Frank is being deeply considered as maybe not the guy right now with this board. I just don't think he's shown anything in the last few months at all to give us any sort of hope that things are going to turn around at this point. And it already feels like he's quickly and impressively, by this short of a time span, basically killing off our season, of anything to really look forward to. It's actually kind of impressive how quickly he's done that, to not have us really have that much left to look forward to. And where I see some of these other teams in the Premier League table, only about 4 or 5 points off of, I think, Fulham and some of these others that are in eighth, ninth, and 10th position. I think you got to make a real serious decision now as to whether you bring someone in that can maybe have you challenge with those teams. Because I do feel like those teams we can try to compete with. I'm not even having aspirations anymore of getting close to fifth or sixth, but I do feel like if you made a change, potentially you could actually fight your way up to the eighth, ninth, seventh positions, potentially scrape some sort of conference league spot. I think that's kind of all we can hope for at this point.
you'd also argue if the club had any ambition, they would have done it weeks ago, and the writing was on the wall weeks ago. We're already out of a domestic cup. You'd argue another domestic cup. You would argue it's almost getting to the point where it's too late now.
Yeah.
And because I was sitting there thinking back today on my way home. But Man United have made a change. Look where they are in the Premier League right now. Chelsea have made a change. Look where they are, and then also Real Madrid today. Clubs with ambitions. Where's ours?
Yeah, I completely agree. Let's bring in some of these people in the chat and then we'll get the show underway. We see someone at the very top of the chat, Sour, saying, get him out, get him out, get him out. All the Dan the Hate Spurs, all depends on who's coming in, but it's an out from me. Poch, back, please. I mean, that's one of the serious questions we'll be talking about, Dan, is like, as much as I think a large majority of the fan base want him out, we also can understand that. Do you just bring anyone in? Are you kind of that, like, I'm that Frank out, but maybe not everyone's that Frank out, if you get what I mean, where they might actually have to wait, or at least they feel like we should wait until potentially someone is actually available. Because I know some people aren't a big fan of the interim type situation that you can have at a club. I personally feel like it can't get much worse than this, so you might as well just bring in an interim. But I see where you're coming from, Dan. I think there are a lot of people that could be in your boat on that one. ET saying, get the Lewis family out, get Enoch out, get the players out, get Frank out. He wants total recall. Leo Starman, good to see you as well. We have Stefan Boy. Stefan, so yeah, like what I looked up, it looks like potentially not a fan show member, but we would love to have you on because we have been missing your takes on things. And he's saying, I think later in the chat, he says, I wonder who can defend Thomas Frank tonight. That's all I'm wondering. How many Frank fans are left, Stefan, at this point? I'm not too sure if there are that many, even ones that potentially went into the season as big fans of Thomas Frank. I have been seeing a lot of people come out and say, you know what? I gave the guy a chance. I really wanted it to work with him. I believed in him, but things just don't look any good. And I think that's perfectly reasonable to at least have given him that initial belief and that initial sort of like trust and faith. But with the way things have been going, like only had like 2 wins or something, in like the space of like a month or 2 months or something like that. It's just insane, just how poor the run of form has been.
It's like 2 wins in our last 14, 15 games, Jack.
It's incredible. Just
It's
now
not
that he's already out of both domestic cup competitions after not going far at all into any of them, I just feel like, the guy is very, very quickly just already writing off this whole season, which to me, I think is pretty much unacceptable.
What I will say though is, Jack, I do think we are starting to enter the point with the amount of injuries now that we're starting to pick up. We are starting to enter in the point like we did with Ange Postecoglou last season, where the writing was on the wall. Everyone knew it was going to happen at some point. But what manager is going to want to walk into this mess now mid-season,
Right.
and try and attach their name to it or put their name to it? It's sort of getting concerning now. Even if you're a caretaker manager, this is an audition for you for a future job. Are they even going to put their names to it,
That's
at this
fair.
point? So, it's getting to the point now. It might just be a marriage of convenience to the end of the season.
Does Sean Dyche have a brother or cousin or someone that maybe we can bring in that can rescue this dumpster fire situation? We need basically a fireman to come in and help our situation at Spurs. Logan THFC, appreciate your support as a member. Wayne Bonner, good to see you as always, Wayno. He's saying, good evening, folks. Hope you're all well. Get Alonso in as interim or permanent and boot Frank and Spencer out. Absolutely, Wayno. We also have Chem is in here. Stefan Bloy saying, I'd take Gallagher for sure. He walks into that midfield. People who don't want him are expecting the likes of Wharton to arrive mid-season, which just ain't happening. I have no real aspirations of anybody of serious quality kind of coming in this January window just because our situation is so murky. The players that really of our substantial quality, why would they come to Spurs right now? It's just you have no idea who's going to be the manager. You have no idea where the direction of the club is headed. We're kind of in already a bad spot in the league table. It's not like we're competing for very much at the minute. The only attraction could be Champions League, but I just don't really see why any real serious players would be willing to come to us right now. And that's why I feel like Spurs have to pull their finger out and actually just make a decision on who is going to be in charge. Is it going to be Frank? Or is it going to be, some sort of situation in the summer where they make clear indications that they are going to be bringing in a new manager in the summer? But we're in a very tricky situation right now, Stefan. William Webb saying, big up, guys. A worrying season ahead. We need some positivity. Let's hope things turn around. William Webb. AK Shags is in the house. El Dante's in here. Mary W. Always good to see you, Mary. She wants him out. We also have, just making sure, Polly Cooper, Sean Hurl with Bergvall. I think Bergvall is still injured at the minute. Sean Hurl, if that's what you're referring to. So many injuries at this stage. I wonder if it's still Ange Postecoglou's fault at this point, Sean, with how many injuries we're having. Tom Lowry, C4, good to see you. Tyler's just joined the house as well. Good to see you, Tyler. Hopefully everything's okay with you, my friend. And then Ian Ferguson, the one and only. Big up to you, my man. And then Dropkick Your Teacher saying we need a winger. Yeah, I think we need wingers and more forward players more than we need midfielders, I think, at this point in time. That's just me, though. But Dave, shall we get the show kicked off and started?
Well, the thing is, Bentancur has to go for surgery now, so we're down to Paulini and Gray at this point. So we sort of need centre midfielders in now for, to be fair, we're actually just dropping bodies left, right, and centre. But I would just quickly, there is, everyone's reporting now that Tottenham are accelerating on this Gallagher deal and trying to get it done as quick as possible. There's multiple outlets coming out about it now, so something to keep an eye on over the next, hour or so while we are sitting here speaking to you Spurs fans. If you want to come on and have your say, make sure you do. But look, Jack, let's get into it because I do have some jack potatoes for dinner this evening. I can't stop thinking about them.
Yeah, probably much better business to be dealing with that than what we have with Spurs. But it's nice fan shows. Get to hear what other people have to say and just have other people express their opinions on things. Instead of Dave and I try to once again figure out this basket case of a club. Good to see you, Hollywood Hotspur. Listen, man, it's bleak when I'm saying that. Anything is better at this point. That's where I'm at, man. Like, I don't like saying that out loud, but I have come to that conclusion that, like, can it really get much worse than this? I don't think so. So might as well just bring in somebody who could do a tad bit better at this point. That's where I'm at. I'm at low bar, low expectations. We're going to bring in Eddie. He's going to be first. Then we have Mia and then Jerome afterwards. And then we have our special guest the Frank out specialist. He doesn't even want a name anymore. He just wants to be referred to as Frank out. But let's bring in Eddie. Ed Meister, I think I know where you're at with Thomas Frank at this point, but maybe just to add on maybe a more complex question to things. Do you think Thomas Frank was set up to fail by the board, or do you think he's mostly responsible for how poor the season has gone so far?
Look, I don't want to sound biased or anywhere, but I felt this season, this specific transfer window has been the best bit of business or best transfer window we've had in a long while. And it's probably the best we've done to try and set the manager out to actually do well in the league and actually compete on different fronts. We brought in another 10 in Savvy. We brought in Kudos for wingers. We bought in, who else did we buy this summer? I can't remember.
Polinia and Moani on loan.
Polinia, yeah. We bought in Polinia and Moani, so that's a striker that we desperately needed. And we bought in a 6, which we desperately needed another 6 to back up this midfield. And because we've seen that our position in 6 is very, very weak. We didn't have someone who could go in there and put in a real challenge. None of our midfielders were confident in doing that. They weren't strong enough. And we have backed Frank with the players. Frank just haven't backed it up on the pitch. He's shown that he's incapable of taking risk. He said, he wants to take risk. And I'm like, you haven't shown this on the pitch. You say this in the press conference, but you haven't shown this on the pitch. And yes, sometimes the players will go out there and press, but the majority of the time, the moment we score a goal, we start seeing men deep. We start sitting deep and trying to play on the counter or just try to protect the lead. That's what Frank has done. Whenever we go 1-0 up, we score a goal. It is not the football that Spurs fans want to see, not the football Spurs players want to play. And it is really just so boring to watch. And Frank has just set himself up to fail. And it's infuriating seeing anyone trying to defend Frank. Like, he's just not working, guys. I just can't see anything else to beg to differ.
Yeah, and with Marone's comment here, like, have we seen any improvement under Thomas Frank? That's actually one of my big concerns and worries right now. I think he's doing such a poor job right now that's where I'm at. Like, yes, you can make arguments that the board potentially, has set him up where he didn't get everything he wanted, but things have gone so terribly that I just think it's more his responsibility for how much our season is already just off the rails. But Dave, you're about to come in there.
Just quickly on this comment, we've seen players gotten worse on the Frank. Bergvall has have gotten worse under Frank. We've seen decrease when Johnson was still here. We saw Johnson gotten worse in his finishing abilities and anything that made Johnson worthwhile having at the club. That's why Frank shipped him out. He didn't know what to get out of Johnson. He couldn't get anything out of Johnson. That's why we shipped him out. He just wasn't working for Frank's system. And I am not defending Johnson here. He's not a great player. But you got to admit, he knows how to finish. He knows how to finish the ball. And Frank just couldn't get him into that position. So players have regressed. That's the word I was looking for. Regressed on the Frank. And it's just baffling to me.
Somehow he got worse.
No, look, I sort of agree with what Eddie's saying in general. I think, you asked the question there about the board, Jack. I think it's fair to say, did the board do as much as they could for him in the summer? Did they go balls to the wall for him?
Probably not.
I think it's fair to say they didn't. In that regard, they could have done more. They did leave him short in fullback and stuff like that. But, at the end of the day, to Eddie's point, we brought in a better caliber player than what we have done for most previous managers here. We brought in his whole coaching team. So we did give him more initially to get off the ground running. But when you look at his tenure so far, Paulini is sitting on the bench for a run of 6 games, even though he's brought in to improve the situation. How many times have Moani, been dropped to the bench? Simmons sitting on the bench. A lot of the players that we brought in, he hasn't got the best out of, and you look at a lot of the players that we had from last season coming into this season, none of them are excelling underneath him and stuff like that. So, I think to Eddie's point, I think he makes a fair assessment there. Where are you at though, Eddie? Are you at the point where you sort of want him gone now, where you think he should be sacked now, or do you think we should not maybe press the panic alarm, sit tight until the summer when there's going to be a much better managerial window available?
Would you bring in an interim?
I would bring in an interim because, look, if we could get Xavi Alonso in, I would definitely sack Frank and try and get Xavi Alonso in. Do I think we can get Xavi Alonso in? Probably not. Honestly, I just don't see Spurs promising Xavi what he wants and promising Xavi the amount of wages that he'll probably demand from Spurs. I just cannot see us actually doing that. So, would I sack Frank for interim? Yes, I would, honestly, because anything's better than Frank at the moment when it comes to managers. Because I just he'll have us battling relegation at this rate, and that's the truth of it. Because we're, like you said, we're 4 or 5 points away from Leeds, who are bottom of the barrel of the league. And if we play against West Ham this weekend and we draw, we really are scraping at relegation now. West Ham is in 18th at the moment. They are battling relegation. They need every point that counts for them, and they are going to fight for every point that counts for them. All of their players, the manager is going to be fighting for to stay up, and Nuno knows how to keep a team up. He kept Forest up after they sacked. I forgot Steve Martin. After they sacked Steve Martin. Oh no, Cooper.
Yes, Steve Cooper.
Yeah, Steve Cooper. They bought in Nuno. Kept Forest up. Nuno knows how to keep teams up, and he's going to be fighting to keep this team up. So, come this weekend, we could very easily see a draw here, and that will be that will be the final name in the coffin for any hope Frank has at this football club. Any hope he has, because you cannot draw to one of the worst teams in the league when you're not meant to be one. This team is not that bad. Don't get me wrong, this team isn't good, but it's not this bad. It's not 17th, 16th, 15th. It's 10th, 9th, 8th. It's not that bad. We're world-class players like... Go on.
Just a bit of a shithouse question here. Were you saying that last season when your boy Ange was in charge? Were you of the opposite opinion? Were you going after the team a bit more maybe last year? Just out of curiosity.
I went after the team last year because the players, the players I saw that were on the pitch at the time were that bad, because the team that we had on the ends, the backup team, because majority of our first team players were injured. The backup players we had Archie Gray playing at centre back. We had Fraser Forster as a keeper at one point. We had Antoine Kinski keeping as well, who can't stop a ball for the life of him. We had Dragusin playing centre back at one point, who's also just a big donkey in centre back whenever he's shown to play. We had Ben Davies playing. Don't get me wrong, I thought Ben Davies were actually one of our best defenders last year, but he's shown his weaknesses. And we had Pedro Porro, who ran into the ground all of our season. We didn't get a rest. We didn't have any options to rotate him with, because Spence was forced to play left back. We could rotate him on the right, and Archie Gray was the only player we could rotate in the fullback position, but he was playing centre back for us as well. So Ainsley's team was considerably worse than what we have at the moment. And yes, I understand. I'm probably going after Frank a bit harder than what I did after Ainge. Don't get me wrong, Ainge made a lot of bad decisions, especially with his press conferences. Those are really, really bad press conferences. But I just think Frank has shown a level of incompetence that even Ainge wouldn't have shown had he been given this team. That has blown me away that we have sacked a winning manager to get this. I just can't believe it.
Yeah, no, look, I think you actually answered that question to be fair. And look, you could also make the argument there's a bit more strength in depth, with the players that we brought in this summer as well, to what we had last season. So fair play, Eddie, good discussion. And, are we moving on, Jack, or?
Yeah, I was just going to say, Eddie, unless you had any final words to say, we're going to try to keep this moving tonight.
Just very quickly on Conor Gallagher, because I've been looking at his stats all night since we were first rumoured with him and all this stuff, comparing his last season in Prem to Papa Ratasar in the Prem at the same year, because he's what I would equate to Papa Ratasar for us, Conor Gallagher. And look, I think Gallagher would be a good signing for us. Is he the answer? No, but we need strength in depth at this point of time, and I think Gallagher ticks a lot of boxes for us. Proven, homegrown, good overall player. So I think we should definitely be getting Gallagher in and helping this team because it needs help. It desperately needs help.
Yeah. No, I'd probably just anybody in just to have a different thing to talk about, really, or just, someone else just to potentially inspire something. But I'm not maybe as pro Gallagher as some other people are. I've seen Jacob, is in the house saying he would like to have Gallagher in, but potentially we'll talk about that as things progress, and as further reports come out from David Ornstein. Thanks for getting us started, Eddie.
Yeah,
Appreciate you. Very brave of you.
Good to see you back on as well, man. I enjoyed that. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. I enjoyed this too. I'll catch you guys later.
All right. Catch you, Eddie.
Enjoy yourself, Eddie. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Big up to Ed Meister getting us started off. I think earlier Paul Connor renewed his membership. Thank you, Paul. Hopefully we get to have time for you and have a conversation with you. I think that show only went for about an hour and a half last time. I know you said you were only available at around 9 o'clock. Hopefully you can be available a bit sooner, or hopefully we get some more people that come on, and then maybe we can have a conversation with you, Paul, because we have been missing you, especially because I know you have a good amount of passion when it comes to Spurs that a lot of people like, and people do like to hear what you have to say. We're going to keep this moving, though. I think we're going to move on now to, I believe it is Mia that was up next.
Here she is. Let's bring her in. Oh, good evening, Mia. How are you?
Quickly in and out, eh?
Yeah, that's enough time.
No, it's enough time for me to get my conversation going.
See you later.
You're lucky I like you, Dave. You're lucky I like you.
I believe that.
I was going to be flying over to Ireland,
I know. Listen, look, where do you want to take this? Where do you want to kick it off, man?
Joe, what? I think we should talk a little bit about the game, because I think a lot. We haven't obviously you didn't really speak about it with Eddie, but I feel like that a lot of people were really misconstruing that game. I felt like in that first half, it was awful. It was rip my eyeballs out. What the hell are we doing? Football. We let them control the game. We let them control the tempo. They just did what they want. They had their wicked way with us, basically. And then that second half, it felt like we just put in a little bit of effort and we were okay for a little bit. But then I felt like they were playing a bit of cat and mouse with us. They sort of allowed us to have it, but they knew they weren't really a threat. And like we weren't really going to do much. Although we did score that goal, after that, we had chances. I get it, but I don't feel like we were like fantastic. A lot of people are like, oh, that second half shows. I don't think it really showed much, to be honest with you, apart from putting in a bit of effort. And then we got drawn into a load of stupid rubbish with them. They were holding their knees and obviously getting no medics on, so they didn't have to go off for the 30 seconds, playing silly games. And we allowed ourselves to get drawn into their silly games as well, which is really unfortunate, unfortunate that we did that. And the best two players on the pitch for me were Danso and Paulinho. Now, that says a lot about a game of football if the best two people are basically defensive players.
Seems like it's like that every game, don't it?
Yeah, Van de Ven's done that once or twice.
I do want to ask you around the first half, because, it was flagged up on BBC at halftime where they sort of went after the players about the lack of effort or the lack of, passion and energy, in terms of the first half performance. But, I sort of went after the tactics. For me, I don't think they were set up to really go after Aston Villa. I think they were set up to respect them, which when you set up like that, it can look like a lack of energy and stuff like that. Where are you on where that first half went wrong? Do you put it on the players, or do you put it on the tactics employed in the system?
I do put it on a bit of both, Dave. I feel like that, like you, we went out there. I think he's told them, listen, boys, keep it tight, keep it 0-0 until half time. And that's not what you want to see, especially at home in a cup game, which we should be going for, because it's a realistic cup that we can go through and actually try and win. I don't understand that logic. And I do think that the players aren't putting effort, but you know what I think it actually is? I think it is because of the tactics that he employs. I think that the players are really getting fed up with playing this football. I think they're really bored of playing this way, and I think that they're not taken on board much because they're just they're clocked out. I think they've clocked out personally. And that's why they put no effort in. I don't think it's I think it's wrong, because they should give 100% the whole time. I believe that, but I do think that part of it could be they're a bit checked out with Frank.
Fair.
So,
do you think it's possible that they almost abandoned his tactics in the second half? Because I know that's been kind of debated by Spurs fans as whether
Yeah.
like they just sort of said whatever with this guy and, just actually in a sense, collaborated together to play better in the second half. Do you agree with that?
It's difficult because I don't know many times when at half time that Frank's given them enough to come out and actually win. It's been a few times, but not lots. So
Yeah.
you could say that they've taken it upon themselves, or you could say that Frank somehow managed to give this speech, which I can't imagine him giving this big speech about winning and about the cup and about what it means. I just don't see it. But I do think that probably a big part of it was pride. I think that the players felt like this is just ridiculous, like we've got to play for something because otherwise we're going to go limping out of another cup and it's, the fans already on our back. So I think part of it was to do with pride. I do think that with the players.
Yeah. No, I'd sort of agree with that. And anyway, when you're 2-0 down, the handbrake just normally comes off anyway, even if it's instructed or not. But it's easy. The whole point, I guess, is it's easy to take the handbrake off when you're 2-0 down. And it's clear we play better like that. So why not go at it from the start, to theirs and stuff like that. But anything else you want to touch on the game, or do you want to maybe give your view on Frank and where you're at with it? And, to Jack's point, would you take an intern now, or do you think we need to wait until the summer?
I would take anybody. I would take my dogs. I would take one of the dogs. I reckon Ozzy be pretty good. He's named after Ozzy Ardiles, so he's probably got a bit more instruction about him that he'll give. But honestly, I'm willing to take anybody at this point. I said this, I think I said it the other week, and I said, listen, there's no point if you're in a toxic relationship of sticking there just to have somebody warm up your bed. Like, I don't believe in that. And that's what I feel like we're doing by sticking with Frank, because I think it's going to get more and more toxic. The more and more games we lose, the more fans are going to get onto players' backs, onto Frank's back, and then everyone's arguing in the stands about it. And I think it just creates more animosity. And I think that if we got Frank out, got an intern in that maybe brings up a bit of better football, gets results, that will make the fans happier. Therefore, they're not getting on the backs of the players, and then it'll bring a bit more, maybe like better atmosphere amongst us. I think personally.
Okay. I just also maybe wanted to ask you, Mia, maybe just, do you think Thomas Frank was set up to fail in any way by the board, or do you think he's majority responsible for just how poor this season has gone?
If I'm going to be fair, I'm going to say that I don't think many managers are set up to actually win in this club, and a lot of people pointed that finger very, very much so at Daniel Levy. Now I feel like the board are now just proving otherwise, aren't they? Because I don't think that they've really done much else different. Basically what they did, they thought, do you know what we're going to do? We're going to get him out and then point all the fingers and say it was all his fault. And I never really subscribed to that. I always said, I got called a Levy lover, I got called all sorts of names, right? But I always stuck to my point and said, there's somebody above him with the purse strings. That's Enoch. And they've never done anything so far. All these years, they've never done anything. What? And now they're just magically going, oh, look, guys, we're new, we're shiny, we're going to do stuff different. Come on, man, pull the other one. I don't believe that for a second. And I never did believe that for a second. So I always was adamant that it wasn't just Levy. Levy was a problem with the way he negotiated. Some of the things he did, absolutely. But do you think he didn't have instruction from above? Of course he had instruction from above. Of course he was told what the remit was, how much you should be spending, what you should be doing, because they had the money. So obviously they're the ones who are going to be giving those instructions. So I never really understood why anybody expected anything different when Levy went, if I'm honest.
Mm-hmm. I think with the noise they were making, the messages they were sending through Vinay, and I think, in general, I think, many people are sort of, you got to give them a year to sort of show their hand. But unfortunately, their hand, it was, the pressure's being put on for them to show it sooner. And right now they haven't done that, So it'll be interesting to see how the rest of this window pans out. But it does look like we're about to hopefully bring in a new signing. Mia, Tottenham look like they're hijacking the Conor Gallagher deal. And you've got this from El Dante here. It says Conor Gallagher was Pochettino's captain at Chelsea, wasn't he? And now we go and sign him when Pochettino is being talked about by many supporters with the hope that he returns. Coincidence? You think Conor Gallagher is a player that will help come in and improve our fortunes on the football pitch? Because I know under Ange we wanted him, and Ange sort of, I think it was put out there that he would provide a lot more energy in the midfield.
Yeah, I think that he is a good player. He's a very good all-round player. At Crystal Palace, they played him further forward, and he was actually good. He's a good leader as well. I actually always said I rated him, and I didn't mind getting him. I was never somebody who was against it, if I'm honest. And now we've got Bentancur out again. I just feel like we do need to get somebody in. So I wouldn't be against that at all, because I do think that he was really good at Palace. And when he come back for Poch wanted to keep him. And part of the reason that Poch apparently left was because he wanted to keep Gallagher. So
okay,
I think that personally that it wouldn't be a bad signing at all. Yeah,
as a Bentancur replacement is kind of interesting, to be honest, because you could then see him playing alongside Palhinha. I'm just potentially slightly against it, Mia, just because I feel like this team has been needing someone that can be more of that tempo setter in the midfield. I think Palhinha does his job perfectly fine, breaking up play, just being that warrior in the midfield. But I feel like we have been needing someone that can really progress the ball. I'm just not too sure if Gallagher's that guy.
I think he does progress the ball, because that's what I was saying. When he was playing Jack at Palace, he was played further forward, and I do think that he did progress the ball well. And I think when we played the other day with Tel Odebert, I thought they actually had a really good chemistry and actually did really well together. So I think if you play Gallagher and Xavi, and I think Tel Odebert, I don't know, like I actually don't think it's bad. I don't think that's actually a bad attack.
Just quickly, update from Fabrizio Romano.
Dave's our agent on the ground today.
Yeah, Tottenham are hijacking Conor Gallagher deal following verbal club-to-club agreement with Villa. Atletico accepted Villa loan plus option to buy clause proposal today, and now Spurs match and improve their bid, as David Ornstein reported. So I think it's basically looking like that. It's just down to Conor Gallagher now to decide whether he wants Tottenham or Villa.
Can I just say, right, I don't listen to a word Fabrizio Romano says anymore. After the summer, he was absolutely appalling with what he was saying. The amount of things that he actually got wrong is ridiculous. So when he said that he was going to Villa, everyone was like, oh my God, he's going Villa. And I'm like, I want to hear it from one of the bigger accounts like Dave Ornstein, and he come out and said no, actually Tottenham are trying to hijack it. So I think the Fabrizio Romano is a little bit he's gone down a tier. Exactly. He's not tier 1 anymore. I think he is tier 2.
Mia's on fraud watch with
yeah, I'm on fraud watch with all of them, Jacko. Like I don't trust any of them anymore. They all just spout a load of blooming nonsense. So I just stick to stuff that actually is factual, like a bit more factual or good sources, because I think they all just spout a load of rubbish because they all just want clicks. That's what it's about nowadays, isn't it? Just getting the old clicks in.
Yeah,
that's fair.
That's true. That's true.
Mia, any final things that you want to get off and say? And also, please, we put your channel in there, so please everybody do subscribe over to Mia's channel, Tottenham's Lone Wolf. A lot of people love what Mia has to say, so do follow her over there. But yeah, anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, I'd just like to say that I think that we really do need to try and sort it out, because I feel that with Tottenham at the minute, we had somebody who was in complete control and a control freak, and now we've got nobody in control. So it's all going a bit AWOL because nobody knows what the hell we're doing. Nobody knows what the heck's going on. And I feel like that we need to sort it out on so many levels, Jack. It isn't just about Frank. Frank is a problem. But I do think that actually we need to have a big, they need to have a big conversation in the boardroom and sort this, what the hell's going to happen. Because now that Paratici's going, are we going to get someone else in? Are we going to just rely on Lang? I just think that we need to sort out, and they need to maybe have a bit more communication, because apparently that's what we brought in Vinay for, and we haven't had any communication. So I just think that the board really do need to sort it out, because otherwise I'll be bloody well going up there myself and having a word to sort it out.
Love for you to have a word with them. Yeah.
And the thing is, they're called the kids, and they're older than me. I never understand it, man. Like, what's going on? Call them the kids. These kids don't seem to have a bloody clue on what to do. You just need to get your ducks in order, because the thing is, I think because they changed everything so quickly, it's just gone all like a mishmash, and nobody's actually in charge. Nobody's actually taking the reins and saying, right, we're going to have to do this and this and this. What are their meetings about? Are there meetings about the latest episode on Netflix or something?
What croissants are selling in the canteen on Monday morning?
Yeah, like what Betty the tea lady's doing. Like, honestly, like, what are they doing in these meetings? Because it just don't. We're in such a disarray, and so it is definitely needs to be sorted. There's more that's going on at Tottenham for sure.
Yeah,
They're running it like kids. I think we can guarantee
yeah,
that at the
that's
minute.
true.
Thank you, Mia. Appreciate
No
you coming
worries.
on,
Big
and
up, Mia. Good to
thanks
see
for
you
getting us
again.
started like with Eddie.
Yeah,
Okay,
great to see you,
see you next
boys.
time.
Good
See
to
you
see you
later.
again, Mia. Have a good
Bye.
evening.
Bye.
Bye. Make sure
Everybody
you do.
follow
sorry,
her
Ben.
over to Tottenham's Lone Wolf, please. Dave is about to say the same thing, and I think she brings a lot to these fan shows. She's a regular, she's an OG of these, so please everybody show her some love over on
Yeah.
her channel. I think we'll keep things moving though. Thanks to Sean Hurl from earlier. I think he's renewed his membership, so hopefully have a
Big up,
conversation
Shawnee.
with you at some point, Shawnee. Thanks for the support for the channel. And now we're going to bring on the likes of Jerome. I think we know where Jerome stands on a lot of things, but a lot of people like to hear what he wants to say. Jerome.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, everybody. Oh, man.
Where do you want to get started off? The game or Thomas Frank?
No, before we start anything, before we even talk about anything else, you see the man on the right of me, on top there, Dave. I want everybody in the chat right now to say, we are sorry, Dave. We apologize, Dave. We should never have doubted you,
The
Dave.
apology form's in,
We should
everybody.
never have called you a dickhead, Dave. We should never have said those things to you, Dave. We should not ever have forced you to come and make another video to say, I'm sorry, I should not have doubted like Frank and things like that. We should never have done something like that. Now, everybody in the fucking chat, put that and say, I apologize, Dave. I'm sorry to you, Dave. For all the things we said, you were right, Dave. So here we go. When Dave told you all that this guy is not the one, but this guy is going to take us backwards, the club should have done better. The club should have brought somebody better than a guy that's not proven, never won a trophy in his life, never been in the Champions League in his life, never done anything significant in his career. No, you're a bit of a dickhead, Dave. You're being a bit of a dickhead, Dave. You're being this, Dave. You're being that, Dave. Now, who's a dickhead? If I was Dave, I would bring my potatoes right now and eating those from your tears, because this is all of you that was saying that he's the Messiah. All of you that said that he is the one that's going to improve his team. He is the brilliant tactician that he's going to be. Well, here you go. There's your tactician. He's taken us 15th on his first season, worst of any manager has done. Even the guy that you hated the most finished 5th. Now we don't even know where we're going to finish. So, first of all, everybody apologize to Dave. And then after that, we keep talking because this is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Now, this needed to be said exactly how it needed to be, because this is crap.
You do crack me up, and I do appreciate the sentiment. You know, we might draft out some apology forms, put them up on socials. You know, see if anyone wants to apologize. It's good banter, now. It's good banter, Joe. But look, where do you? Let's start. Where do you stand on the game yesterday? I mean, how it went in general. You know, we put the commemorative jersey on. You know, we were trying to go and get the job done for Martin Shivers, and we absolutely failed and ended in absolute disaster, Jerome. I mean, who's at blame for yesterday? You know, especially that first half. Do you blame Thomas Frank and the setup, or do you blame the players' attitude, maybe, and desire and hunger?
It's not. Look, in terms of the first half, we saw it. It's by design. The way was players play, the same way becoming like poorly, cowardly, nothing to put, like not even a through ball, nothing. And this was just by design, literally. And if somebody come and tell me the second half was Frank changing the tactics, nah, that's all on the players. The players was like, sod this off. Let's just give it a go. Because how many times have we seen this? We are 2-0 down and then they start playing football. All right, Brighton, Newcastle, Liverpool, now Villa. I'm like so many times I saw this. I'm like, there's no point. There's no point of saying anything else, because that first half was absolutely shambolic, cowardly. Everything you want to say about it, that was all. The whole thing of our season. It was the whole thing of it. It's only like we give us like 20 minutes of great football. The players just went, sod this. There's nothing else to lose. Let's try to get back in the game. Because after 28 minutes after they scored, you could see Danso and Frank on looking on the board, playing tic-tac-toe. Are you serious? I'm like, come on, man. Do something. Like you're playing tic-tac-toe. Man, come on.
I haven't heard that one yet, actually.
This is ridiculous.
Today, man.
No, seriously, that really pissed me off when I saw this. 28 minutes. You should be going at those players, tell them to wake the fuck up, be angry. No, what you're doing, you're playing tic-tac-toe with Danso. I'm like, get out, man. Get out of here. He's not a Tottenham manager. For me, from the beginning, I told you, Dave, we are going backwards with him. Yeah. Backwards. Because this guy is not going to take us to the heights we want us to be. But everybody was like, no, he's a brilliant tactician. He will change things. He will tweak things. He will be tactical in games. He knows what he's doing. He's a proper coach. What has he coached? No one is better. The team as a whole, stats of the team as a whole is worse than last season. Worse. Even worse. So I can't get behind this. I'm not getting anything like that's enough. I fought like Bournemouth. I told you guys, Bournemouth and this game was the two last game that he had in the bank. If he should at least get a draw at Bournemouth, I would like, okay, and come to Villa and at least try to win. Because a Villa in form, I was telling you guys, a Villa in form is hard to beat. But after that, man, nah, he's done. I don't want to hear anything. I don't want to see anything. All I want to see from the club is he's being sacked, because that's enough. That's enough, man.
And to be fair, look, you know, I remember the first international break you were on here sort of warning us, you know, that what we were doing at the start of the season was never going to be sustainable and stuff like that, in terms of, you know, the lack of goal prowess and stuff like that. You know, you were warning everybody what was to come. But look, you've already sort of made your decision. You are already at Frank out. I think you have given him more than enough time, to be fair. Yeah. But are you Frank out right now, bringing an interim like Jack maybe suggesting? I originally shut him down, you know, which I'm sort of coming around to the idea of, or, you know, are you sort of hold off, don't panic, wait till the summer, wait till the World Cup's over, and then let's go and get someone else in?
No, had enough. Get an interim, get whoever we want. I don't care. Get the guy out, because we are not going to be able to hold on, especially if the injury crisis happening right now. We are going to see worse football happening, more cowardice football happening. It's going to be draws, lose, draw, lose, or whatever. Where is going to win coming from? Because the second half, seriously, Tell and Odegaard were doing an amazing job in the second half. What does he do? He took both off.
And then suddenly, I couldn't believe it.
He sabotaged it.
He sabotaged the whole thing. Do
you reckon they bet him at tic-tac-toe at halftime, Jerome?
Yeah, probably.
They said no to playing tic-tac-toe. They're like, actually, we have a game of football we need to be playing. He's like, what?
Who do I take out? Okay, Tell, are you out? Odegaard? Okay, yeah, he's out. I take him out. You're telling me you put like 3 strikers in and you take out your wingers. What? Oh, man, seriously. Nah, he's out. And Xavi Alonso out. Xavi Alonso is available. Maresca is available. Maresca was able to take $1 billion flop and made them world champion. So I believe he can do actually a really good job with Tottenham. Xavi Alonso is available. Go and get the guy. If you're saying you're this big club, go and get that guy. Get this guy out, because I don't care. I can't go on, because we are in January. We have to wait until April and May for the league to get over. That's another 4 months of that. Nah, man. I'm done. I gave plenty of time. I've tried enough. I said every single time, all I want to see is performance on the pitch, week in and week out. All I saw is shit continuously. So this is horrible. Next, we're going to go to Dortmund. And if we lose to Dortmund, that is it. And then after Frankfurt, because those are no jokes team into Champions League. So what are we going to do there after that? What are we going to do after that if we lose both of the games? That means season over. Done with. Oh, man. Nah, this is the worst. This is the worst season I think I've been to. Even though we lost 22 times last season, at least we won a trophy. That's something I could say. I could feel better about that. But this season, if we finish 17th again, we win nothing. What is there to be happy
Jerome,
about?
I have to stop you here. Conor Gallagher to Tottenham. Here we go. The
Holy
player is
shit.
just informed Letty about his decision to join Tottenham. Spurs set to pay 40 million fee, permanent deal. And we beat Aston Villa. Aston Villa did agree to a deal with Atletico today, but leave the race as player didn't give the final green light. So Conor Gallagher to Tottenham Hotspur. Here we go. £40 million deal. Jerome, it's live. It's breaking.
Here we
Yeah,
go.
you're the man.
Signing.
Here we go, Watkins. Here you go. Yeah, Watkins. Here you go, you villains. We just fuck you up onto one player.
Yeah. Who got the last laugh? Do you think
Look,
this is done
need
just
the
quickly out of panic, Jerome? Like maybe with the protest this
Yeah.
weekend, but also just with everything around Spurs? Like this almost does scream a bit panic that they are hijacking the deal and the way that it's being written about, right? It's not like we've been in for him the whole time.
I think we need players, especially with all injuries that have been happening. We needed like someone in the midfield, and it is definitely panic. Look, Conor Gallagher is going to be. I won't say he's this amazing signing, but he's going to be a decent player to come in and do a job in this team. But my only issue right now is how will he perform under this manager? That's the only issue.
First of all, do you think he'll stay fit for the rest of the season, Jerome? You know, we have problems with injuries. Do you think he'll stay fit for the rest of the season?
Well, there's not much left to the season anyway, so we're only going to be playing what once a week, like a couple of games of Champions League. So should be all right. I think he should be okay, but let's see. But with all the injuries, I wanted to ask as well. So from what I heard from last season, so did Frank as well go in the medical room and said, you got to get a lot of injuries with my style of play? So is that the same thing with Frank? Because apparently with Ange walked in from Johnny. Johnny said, Ange walked in the medical room to say, make sure you got to have a lot of hamstring injury. I'm like, yeah, sure, it was Ange's fault. Now that we have like almost the same amount of players out, maybe it's Frank as well. His style of play is so intense, man. Wow.
Yeah, I think it's both their faults. I agree, Jerome. I think it was Ange's fault. Now it's Frank's fault. Both their fault. Any manager who's in charge, it's their fault. Love that. Well, thank you, man. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate you keeping us company. And honestly, some very good humor from yourself. I'm actually amazed I haven't heard that tic-tac-toe joke, because I've seen so many other ones, but I haven't heard the tic-tac-toe one. That one actually is the best one that I've heard, to be honest. That's quite brilliant. At least Thomas Frank has given us a lot of memes since he's been here. Yeah, at least there's that.
Yeah. I'm just having a bit of banter with the Dave apology things, but look, the guy was right. I can't deny it. The guy was right. He was right. And yeah, still, I haven't seen I'm sorry. We're sorry. So in the chat, come on, guys, with the sorry starting right now.
I appreciate you, Jerome. I do appreciate the sentiment, man. Very, very kind of you. And look, Eddie said, I stayed just to watch my Aussie brother. So, you got a bit of support there. But look, you've also been on Frank's case for a long time. I remember you were on a fan show, and I remember I was saying this to Dermot last night. I remember him saying to you to, give it patience and stuff like that. But you did warn it was coming. But look, Jerome, I think you speak for everybody. None of us want to be in this mess. You just want to start winning games of football, and hopefully, we can do that starting at the weekend against our biggest rivals, West Ham. And appreciate your time this evening, Jerome. And we'll speak again very, very soon.
No problem. Thanks, guys.
Talk to you later. Have a good one, man.
See ya.
See you later, my man. Bye-bye. What a legend. Absolutely.
He was on form today, like you were saying, Dave. Yeah, he was on form today, Jerome. And appreciate your support, Eddie. Just want to welcome DB, who's joined us tonight. Good to see you, DB. Hopefully everything's good with you outside of Tottenham Hotspur. I'm pretty sure Frank uses a Walkman on his morning runs. That'd be quite hipster of him. I'd actually applaud that. And also, it's probably heavier than using a phone or anything. So it just makes it an even tougher workout. And he's saying, I'm pretty sure his pay will reduce if he doesn't qualify for Europe. So annoyingly, he will stay. And I was a big Frank fan, but he stays until the end of the season. I think DB, I said this earlier, might be in that camp where he's kind of just feeling like his time is pretty quickly coming up at the club. But there were so many people who were big fans of Frank, maybe still are, but it just kind of feel like it's just not working out for whatever reason you put it down to. And that's what I'm seeing the majority of. I think there are a lot of people that wanted Frank to succeed, wanted to give him a lot of time, but then they're seeing how it's going right now. And it's just like, it's kind of hard to, defend him much longer, really, if you get what I mean. But maybe I'm making stuff up for you, DB. But really what I want to say, good to have you back with us. Hopefully everything.
Yeah, it's good to see you around, brother. Good to see you, DB. Oh, that with how frustrated he must be with Tottenham, that lawn must be in absolute pristine condition. I bet you DB uses a Walkman going around doing his lawn. Big up, DB.
To be fair, Thomas Frank's probably pretty good at cutting the lawn, and he'll have some extra money if he leaves Spurs to be able to do it and spend some time.
You might need DB to cut his hair soon. You might have to, go unrecognizable.
Yeah, absolutely. Q7 saying Gallagher has been on the bench most of the season. If we wanted him, he would have been signed on January 1st. This is a reactionary signing because fans better not ease up on them after this. I'm kind of in that boat, Q7. I just feel like it could be reactionary signing to the injury to Bergwall and the injury to Bentancur, but also just the manner in which this has happened, like the way they're describing it as a bit of a hijack, that sort of says that maybe he was on their radar, someone that they were considering. But once they saw that another club was moving quickly on him, then they kind of felt like, you know what, with the pressure that's on the manager right now, with the pressure that's coming from the fans on the board right now, maybe we just move on this and just try to quell some of the some of the frustrations and some of the intensity from the fan base right now. That's what it sort of says to me. Not saying there's anything that wrong with that. I could see why they would do that, but it doesn't strike me as something that they've been planning to do this whole January window. But at least they're signing somebody. Maybe that's how low my expectations are right now.
What I will say is we were interested with him and heavily interested in him before he decided to sign on at Atletico Madrid.
Even when he was with Ange, right? We wanted to sign him. Yeah.
And the fact that he has been sitting on the bench for the majority of season at Atletico Madrid, and it's a World Cup year, I can understand why he's picked Tottenham Hotspur over Aston Villa, because when you look at Aston Villa, is he going to get as much game time as he would coming, to Tottenham Hotspur? So I can understand why he's picked Tottenham Hotspur. But to your guys' point, if there was any level of ambition, why not get it done and bring him in here on the 1st, 2nd, or even 3rd of January, to try and help the situation and give us them extra options instead of just running players into the ground. So I do take that on board. But just to get why I think Conor Gallagher picked Tottenham is because he's going to play. I think
you're right.
He might not have Villa.
I think you're spot on. It could also be he's kind of like a James Maddison, right? Where he's someone who we've been linked with for a while, more than one window. And it seems like he's finally come in, kind of like with James Maddison. We were always linked with him for so many windows. Jack Grealish was another one too. And I think Conor Gallagher kind of fits in that bracket, to be fair. And I think you're right. He probably just wants to be given game time as much as possible. And I rate that then, if he's willing to come to a dumpster fire like us just so that he can play games, I rate that in a guy that actually just wants to be out on the grass, wants to be playing instead of picking up a paycheck type of guy. So I rate that in Conor Gallagher. And we know he works hard. We know he's not a selfish player by any means either. So you're bringing in a good head of shoulders there. It's
good to see that we're bringing in a player that everybody knows. Everyone knows what his skill set is, and there's no excuse if he doesn't produce at Tottenham under Thomas Frank. You saw there's no excuse for Thomas Frank moving forward now. If we are starting to bring in these sort of players for him, it's even more pressure on him now to start delivering.
Jacob Anderson, if I could just get Grealish too at this point. Big up to Martin Walton as well. That's very funny. Let's just sign all the ghosts of the past of transfer windows. Let's just do that. Love those comments there. And then
big up Andrew as well.
Yeah, big up to Andrew. Thank you for supporting the channel. And then DJ AK, I'm seeing him come in here. Big up to Derek. Big up to DJ AK. Hopefully you guys are doing okay. And then very generous support from Jerome in here saying, we're sorry to have doubted you, Dave. Never, ever again, Dave and Frank out. That would be a funny video. I think we'll have to be kind, when doing that video. But maybe we should do a reaction to some of the comments that you received in that video. It would just be funny. Of course, we would try to be on our best behavior when doing it. But it would be, I think, be like a Twitter reacts. It would be like a pretty funny video to do. To see what people have to say. Thank you, Jerome. Thanks for
a good idea.
Very generous support. Thanks for making that fan Colin actually quite humorous. I'm actually really still laughing at the tic-tac-toe thing.
It's brilliant.
Frank having his players beat him in tic-tac-toe, not actually tactics. It just makes me laugh. Big up, Jerome. Appreciate you, brother. Very, very generous support. Let's go to our next. I think it's Chris, or sorry, I called him by his name, but I think he wants to be referred to now. is Mr. Frank Out. He's more Frank Out than anyone else. He's changed his name to Frank Out. What's up?
Good evening, sir.
What's up, Mr. Frank Out?
Frank out, Frank out, Frank out, Frank out, Frank out, Frank out, Frank out. Before we go any further, Dave, I don't owe you an apology form because I was with you from the start. I didn't want Frank. So I don't owe you an apology form, so don't ask me for one. And also, everybody smash a like and get your super chats in to support these two amazing guys, okay?
Oh, thanks, Chris. So it sounds like we'll be saving paper on your end of things. We'll be saving stamps. You don't need to send them to Dave. Yeah, we're gonna need to get Dave a PO box. It's gonna get that many.
Jack,
many letters
any answer you're gonna get from me tonight is just gonna be Frank out.
Those are the only words you know at this stage.
Yeah, Frank out.
Chris, talk about the game. Yeah. Go ahead, Dave.
I was gonna say before we get on to Frank, why don't we talk about the breaking news of the Conor Gallagher signing?
Yeah. That's
where are you at signing? Happy?
All those people, when we had Ange, slagged off that we were going to go sign Conor Gallagher, he's not good enough. All those people now are singing his name that we want him. What's happened?
We need him.
Yeah, but all those ones in the summer when we had Ange, we don't want Conor Gallagher, he's not good enough. Tune's a tune, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I'm happy. I'm actually quite happy with Conor Gallagher. Because I was looking at a stat, David, and I was absolutely physically sick. Yeah. There's more Premiership players in the Premier League than have put more through balls than our whole team this season.
Yeah. It's shocking. I think there's 9 total players that have more.
Yeah, 9 total players in the Premier League that have actually put more through balls than the whole of the Tottenham squad. What?
Let alone 9 teams. 9 teams is bad enough. Imagine 9 players.
Yeah, but Jack, I'm wondering what they do on the actual training pitch. Are they sitting there eating some Danish pastries or something, bro? Because what are they training?
I actually imagine this when they do the training, they put walls or something for anything that's between the lines, and then they put diagonals or like arrows to point to anything sideways or backwards. That's what I'm feeling like. He's trained them to somehow not see between the lines.
Jack, when I read that stat, I was like, that's abysmal. Even the most lower league team like Leeds are putting probably more through balls in a season than we have actually done the whole of this season.
Yeah.
Embarrassing. We're embarrassing.
I wonder if it's our lowest through balls ever, like under any manager ever.
Frank out.
I had to look that up.
There you go. Just had to get it one more time, just so we make me aware. Frank out.
Would you bring in an interim, Chris? I'm assuming. Yeah,
I would.
Just bring in anyone.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, Harry Redknapp. He said he'll do it for free. Bring him in.
And then would you look to hope that we bring in someone in the summer? Would you try to go for a Xabi Alonso or like a Maresca now, or would you rather just wait until the summer?
Jack, why would they want... Looking at the shit state of affairs we're in at the moment, why would they even want to look at the job?
Yeah, that's what Dave's been saying. As much as we could try to find these guys.
Why would they? They're like, yo, I'm walking into a shit fest here. Why am I even taking responsibility for this? I ain't putting my name to this team. Why would they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what Dave's been saying to me, Chris. It's that even if we try to go for some of these managers, it's like the case with Ange, all these injuries, terrible run of form. It's a toxic place right now at the minute. You're not sure if you're going to get even your signings in this window. It's not an attractive
option. The thing is,
option.
Jack, what I want to know, is where are all those Frank defenders now? Give me a reason why you're going to defend Thomas Frank. What is there actually be defending him for?
Do you think maybe I think the biggest thing around Thomas Frank was, it's such a big job that you just need to give him time and backing. Do you think given that time and backing that maybe he could improve, Chris, or that things might improve and he could eventually start getting us in the right direction?
Nope, not good enough. He's tactically inept. That was the worst first half of football I've ever seen in my life on Sunday, yesterday. I was embarrassed. I was actually truly embarrassed. I was like, they ain't a Tottenham, I know. And it only looked in the second half, the players that just took the initiative themselves. They forget what he's saying, we're going to do it ourselves. Because that's how it looked. It was nothing that Thomas Frank said. They've just took it on their own accord, say, oh, stop this, we're going to be embarrassed here, let's go and do something about it. But it was too late. But then, the substitutions, taking our 2 best players off, and like, what are you doing? Are you actually doing this on purpose? Are you actually doing this seriously taking the piss on purpose? Are you really trying to get the fans really backs up that bad?
It's kind of like when Nuno took off Lucas Moura, right? It felt similar, where it's just like you're actively sabotaging any chance you have of potentially getting something from this game.
But all jokes aside, Jack, for me, at the moment, I'll tell you, I'm not even, Jack, you know me, I've always gone on rants and kicked off big time. I'm beyond the point of it now. I'm like,
yeah,
shrug shoulders, like, what's the point? Frank is absolute useless. Brentford are doing better than what they've ever done since he's left.
Yeah.
Johan Lang left Aston Villa. Aston Villa are doing a hell of a lot better than what they are what they were with him. What does that tell you? We've taken the two most shittiest of people and brought them into our club. And they've single-handedly destroyed it. I'm not surprised Paratici went out. I'm not surprised.
Has anyone seen any more news on that, by the way? I haven't seen any updates since it was rumored about Fiorentina.
I've seen two bits. I think there's... Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
I think from what I've read earlier and yesterday, he's waiting until the transfers window's done with us, and then he's off to Fiorentina. That's it. He's gone in January after the January transfer window, Dave.
Is that the club admitting that Johan Lang can't get in the players, so they're going to use him to get in the players, and then
could be.
Yeah, basically.
Could be.
That's
I think there's something about personal reasons too, which I wonder how true that is.
Nah, do you know what? I don't blame him for wanting to abandon ship. I don't really blame him, Jack. I'll be. If I was in Paratici's position, I would have jumped a lot longer than waiting until the end of the transfer window. Believe me. For what it's worth, you might as well bring the Doris the tea lady in to manage the club, because she'll do a better job than what Frank's been doing.
Well, let's take Nicholas Walker's here. Chris, he's saying, "Are you sure we haven't actually signed Gallagher as the new manager?"
We might have done. We might have done. He might do a better job.
Yeah, he learned a thing or two under Simeone, to be fair to him.
But Jack, I was listening to the game yesterday. I was watching it, and one of the commentators said something interesting. When I think his Bogard got injured for Villa before he went off, they were having their tactical analysis with Thomas Frank. Right, they were talking the tactics, and Danso was looking at him like, "Are you sure you want me to actually be doing that? Are you sure?" It was like almost questioning Frank's decision. Like, are you serious? Are you really asking me to do that? But Danso, and I have to say, Ben Davies and Matty Tell and even Odegaard put on a shift yesterday. Then I don't know what happened afterwards when Frank's magic ideas with his tic-tac-toe board then magically magically substitutes our two best players.
I mean, what's also concerning about it, Chris, is that I think it was only 21 minutes in or something like that, too. So, like, what sort of tactics would you even be changing at that point? Like, you're only 20 minutes into the game, like, and you're a goal down. Like, surely you don't really need to be discussing anything that tactically detailed. Like, you're only 20 minutes into the game.
Jack,
like, maybe 80th minute, I'd understand, but not 20 minutes in. That's the part.
Yeah, the only thing he should have been saying to the players at that point when we're 1-0 down, forget what I told you earlier, put your foot down and go for it. Yeah. Just go at them. We were scared of them for all that first half. We were absolutely shit scared. It was embarrassing.
Do you think they just went against him in the second half and just were like, whatever, we're just going to play ourselves?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I believe. I believe that the players just thought, oh, what he's saying, we're going to do it our way. And Palhinha, who's been sat on the bench for about 6 games while Grace started ahead of him, come in and put a shift in.
Yeah.
Do you know what, Jack? Me, I want Frank gone as soon as possible. I want him gone. I want him out the door as far away as from the Tottenham Stadium as possible.
I'm getting more pissed off, Chris, each day that I wake up that he's not gone, to be honest. That's how Frank out I am at the minute.
Right. Jack, you know, for the last, month or 2 months now, 3 months maybe, I've been saying, I want Frank gone. Yeah. People are like, oh, give him a chance, he's getting no chances from me. It's Frank out. Simple as that. No chances. That train for Thomas Frank left the station months ago, and it ain't coming back again. It's on a one-way trip.
Do you place any blame on the players or the board, Chris?
Yeah, I was about to ask the same thing.
The players, look, a lot of those players actually look burnt out, David. They're like, why do we even care anymore? If he don't give a shit, why do we give a shit? The board need to open up their mouths and say what their plan is, because at the moment there's no transparency at all. There's nothing coming from the board to tell us to be positive about.
Yeah, Fair.
See, this Conor Gallagher signing to me does sound like a panic signing. It does. I have to admit, it does sound like a panic signing. Bentancur's got injured. Oh shit, we need a midfielder. Let's panic buy. If we really wanted, but David, if we truly wanted Conor Gallagher on the 1st of January, we would have had his name signed on that contract.
Yeah,
and it's taken what, nearly 2.5 weeks into the transfer window to finally sign somebody. Apart from Sousa, who's an untested left back.
Could you make the case to have acted earlier than when Daniel Levy was here, though? Because with Daniel Levy, it was like the last 2 days of the window we sort of signed everybody. Whereas, mid-January, we have brought in 2 players.
That's fair.
Well, I'm hesitant until Conor Gallagher's holding a jersey because we got it for Gibbs White last year and he fucked us off. So,
that's exactly what I'm saying, David. That's why I'm not getting too excited about what players we sign until I know they actually weren't holding a shirt or even on the team sheet. But for me, David, at the moment, I think I've just I've lost interest in whether we win or lose, because if we win, it's a bonus to us now, and if we lose, I just shrug my shoulders and say, "What the hell? Well, it's happened again." But it makes my desire for Frank to be out even more.
Yeah.
It makes it even stronger every time. I can't stand the guy, and it's his interviews as well. Well, we did try it. No, you didn't. You actually screwed us over. You made those substitutions, took our best players off, and you still wanted to get something out of the game. No, you didn't.
What made me laugh, Chris, was after the game when he goes, "That second half is what we want to be." And it's like, oh, when you take the handbrake off then. So why don't you do that at the beginning, you fucking frizzy-haired frazzled fuck?
Yeah, that's exactly what me, Dave. When I heard his interview yesterday, I was like, you mug. You absolute mug. First half, you played defensive, trying to catch Villa at home on the counter-attack. You mug. If you want to play like that, you start like that in the first minute and you finish like that on the 90th minute. Yeah. See, okay, even right.
I want to be a team that's 2-0 down at halftime.
That's exactly who we want to be.
Exactly. David, you know what? For what it's worth, we might as well just say to every team, you know what? We'll give you a 2-0 advantage, right? And then we'll come at you afterwards. Just tell the Premier League from now on, every game, Tottenham Hotspur will start 2-0 down.
I do appreciate Frank for the fact that he sold Johnson, but also for the fact that he has been quite memeable. Like, he does say a lot of things that you just sort of like, it can kind of turn into funny jokes, about.
But it's getting to the point though where it's making people angry. It's
exactly.
It's to make people angry. It's the mentality of the guy. But like these are these things he's not
taking responsibility for his actions. He's not taking responsibility for what he's doing. He's not saying, "Do you know what? I hold my hands up. This was on me. It was my mistake. I shouldn't have set up this way. I need to get it. I need to do better and get it right." But he's not doing it, David. He's doing the exact opposite. It's the fans' fault. It's the players' fault. It's the injuries' fault. It's everybody's fault but his.
Yeah.
Or he's kind of doing that thing where he sort of pretends like we played really well or something like that too. It's like he's sort of like, I remember Ten Hag.
How about he sits in the stand?
Yeah.
How about he pays for a season ticket, and sits in the stands and watch what the fans are watching every game.
I know.
I'm sure you'll see it differently then.
But you're not
Dave, for me,
no, Chris.
No, apparently not. Apparently, I'm just a glory hunter. Yeah, of course I am. I've watched my team. Fan. Yeah, apparently, this is what was called the other day, and I burst out laughing. I went, just because I live in Newcastle, 287 miles away from the stadium, don't mean I support my club any other way. Even if I still lived in London, I'd still be saying the same thing. I'd actually be going to the training stadium, abusing those players and Thomas Frank daily.
Or when he said, like,
just to get a reaction.
When he says some people don't see the bigger picture, it's just so frustrating.
They don't. If they don't, Jack, because if they actually, I get we've got a lot of tourist fans who don't come to the games very often, but their opinion matters as well.
Yeah.
But
no, I said when he said, like, some fans don't see the bigger picture like me, it's like,
yes, we do.
Now he's calling the fans stupid or like something like that, Or
yes, we do. We see the picture bigger than what he's seen. He's seeing it from, we've lost the game. Never mind. I'm still getting paid my 20 million if I get sacked. I don't care. But what about
the picture without you in it, Thomas Frank? That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, exactly.
Without you in it.
Yeah. I see a picture of you getting in a taxi and not coming back.
Big up. This is Nick, by the way, Chris.
Oh, who is it? Our man up north, Nick. What's happening, Nick? Big up. Long time no speak.
Yeah. It's been good to have Chris on, Nick, by the way. He's been coming on pretty frequently. And Chris, I hope you also heal up, my man. You know, I'm sorry about the injury that you took.
My knee's still buggered. I still can't walk.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And you're being forced to watch Spurs, you know, while you recover, which
you know what?
doesn't help.
I was so close to grabbing.
Even our fans are getting injured.
I'll tell you what, yeah. I was scared. I was scared to go to the doctors in case they refer me to the Tottenham physios.
Yeah. You're like, I'll just fix it myself.
Jack, that's a brilliant one. Even our fans are getting injured now at this point.
Yeah.
Chris,
Dave, I couldn't even hobble away from the TV to watch it. I was literally like trying to crawl on my hands and knees just to get away from this screen.
Yeah, well, watching this football would turn anyone into a vegetative state.
It made my injury worse.
Yeah, definitely. Chris, just take these super chats with us, and then we're gonna have to take on our next guest. But you were absolutely class. Tom Lowry saying thanks for the content, Dave and Jack. He's Frank out as well, Chris, by the looks of things.
Well done.
Struggling to find anybody. Well done. There's only so many people left. I think that could be Frank
Tom,
in.
by the way.
He's
here every single stream he's here. Big up, Tom.
Very generous.
Big up, Tom. I love the Frank out. Just keep it hashtagging every single week. Hashtag Frank out.
Tom's changing his name to Frank out too, Chris. You're gonna get jealous. Tin Man.
That's it. Just everybody keep it up. Just keep the hashtag Frank out.
Love it. And Tin Man, he's a big fan of yours, Chris. He's saying big up, guys. And to the legend, Chris, we always sign players to replace, not to add, like the bigger clubs do. He's also hashtag Frank out.
Tin Man, my old friend, big up, mate, and hashtag Frank out, lad.
I think that second part of the comment though is absolutely spot on. We wait till the injury crisis and that, and then sort of look to bring in players rather than at the start of the season really add some squad depth. And I think that point is spot on, Tim, man.
Dave, there's nothing new though.
Sorry, Chris.
Dave, that's nothing new though. We've done that for years.
Yeah.
And the thing is, with our so-called new ownership regime, it was going to improve. I haven't seen no improvement.
Yeah.
I haven't seen zero improvement. Vinny, who's supposed to be coming out and telling us every so often what's going on with the club, we've heard from him once in the summer. That was it.
Yeah.
But there's no transparency from the club, and they wonder why the fans are wanting to protest, why they're getting angry and getting their backs up, booing every game.
Well, that's the thing. Like, they could easily quell it by just coming out and having some meetings and meeting with, fan groups or the trust or something like that. Start communicating with the fans more.
Dave, what's the point in the Tottenham? What's the point in the trust? What's the point in the Tottenham Hotspur trust? They only ever say something. They only ever say something when the fans are starting finally getting on the back of the board. They don't ever say it in a space of like, okay, we've had enough now. We want answers today. Not just say we've asked the board this. We demand answers. They should be demanding those answers from the board, not just say we've asked the question.
Thing is, though, I'm very hesitant to go after the trust because they do actually do a lot of good within the fan base, and stuff like that, and so I am a bit hesitant to go after them. I get what you're saying in terms of sometimes they're a bit late to the party, or maybe they just give a bit more rope, than a lot of other fans.
But they shouldn't be doing really, Dave. If any other trust on any other club, they will be like straight away to their board. What's going on? What's happening? We want answers and we want them now. We don't want to hear your excuses. We don't want to hear we're just doing this, we're just doing that. No, we want to know what you're doing and when you're doing it.
See, the thing is, though, with that, Chris, just quickly, and we will have to let you go because we do have another guest. But with that, if they start doing that, they lose their seat at the table to a certain degree. And do you really want that then? It's sort of, unfortunately, it's just the position they're in. They have to sort of, be a bit more patient maybe than the average.
Yeah, I get you, but Dave, the only bonus I got from today was Ali Gold blocked me on Twitter. That was the only bonus I got today.
You're doing better than Jack then.
Yeah.
Dave, all I'd asked him was why didn't you stop kiss-assing the Tottenham board and ask the real questions that fans really want to know the answers to? And he blocked me.
It's fair.
You're asking too difficult a question. Sounds like, Chris. You don't like that.
Jack, it wasn't one of his paid questions.
He's in a difficult position, though. He's a fan of the club, and he's a journalist. The thing is, with journalists, he's going to lose his job, if he starts going into it, they're almost like a fan mentality. He does have to employ a bit of professionalism, to be fair to the guy.
Dave, I wouldn't be a good. Dave, to be honest with you, I wouldn't be a good Tottenham journalist because I would be so blunt and say, "What's going on?" And I demand the truth. I demand the truth of him because that's all the fans want is the truth. We just want to know what is going on with our club, and not have this nonsense every week. Players are on fans, fans are on players, managers on fans, fans are on the manager. We don't need that. He's actually obliterated our club and he's turned it toxic. We're not Tottenham Hotspur no more. We're Toxic Hotspur because of the way things have gone on for the last few months. And that's down to the management and the board.
Yeah.
Well,
And
Chris.
in all fairness, for me, hashtag Frank out.
Yeah. Say it louder for people in the back. Big up, Chris.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming on.
Frank out, Frank out, Frank out, Frank out. And now Chris is out.
Put it on your front door. See you, Chris.
Good evening, Chris.
See you, man.
Another brilliant call. Just Spurs fans, despite going out of the
Cheer me
FA Cup, levity is good around the Spurs fan base today. I appreciate it, guys.
No, we're the best at it, I would say, actually. And big up to Tin Man. Really generous support,
Second
by the
part
way.
of that comment is so spot on, though.
So spot on.
It's so infuriating as a Spurs fan. So infuriating.
I love his profile picture as well. It's just like it's really
By the way,
funny.
are you still going to games, Tin Man, or you're sort of selling your tickets or whatever right now, or just sort of lost interest? Do let me know.
Yeah. And just want to take this from Uche. He's saying if he loses to West Ham, I expect to hear that he's gone before I even hit Northumberland Park Station. I'm surprised he's still on the job, but I agree with you.
One thing I couldn't believe the other day, I was listening to some guy on TalkSport, and he was saying, or was it Sky Sports? It's not quite toxic enough. I'm sitting there, I'm like, what are they waiting for? A fucking pitch invasion from the fans? Do you know what I mean? It's like, holy shit. But then if the fans were to go and do that, they'd be lambasted all over the world.
I pray it doesn't get that toxic. That's the thing. Like, it's already so bad enough as it is. Yeah, completely.
How much toxic do you want it to get? Do you know what I mean? Honestly.
He wants a nuclear wasteland. I think this was earlier, Paul Connor. It's a shame, Paul, that we couldn't get you on tonight. It is a shame. So, like I said, if you're available early or something like that, we'd be happy to put you up front because I know you've been very patient with us. So big up, Paul. He's saying he's even shocked that it's actually not a loan deal. It's actually a permanent deal. Yeah, me too, to be fair, Paul. Me too, to be fair. And then DY becoming a channel member as well. Thank you,
big
DY.
up, DY.
Very
Very
generous.
kind. Appreciate the support, my man. Thank you.
Yeah. And well, this could be our last guest. If anyone else does have the link, I'll leave it up there just for a little bit longer. But this could be our last guest of the evening, and it is going to be Corey.
Let's bring him in.
What up?
Good evening,
Corey.
Corey.
Oh, man. For months, I've been banging on the keep him in the job. Now I'm like, nah. I've now fallen off of the wagon. This weekend alone, our last chance to stay in a cup. And it's a cup I've been
welcome
craving
to the
since
Thomas
we last
Frank
won
AA
it.
meeting, man. We'll get you back
The
on
train's
that.
filling up.
We all sit around the Alcohol Anonymous thing and just call it Frank Anonymous, just like FA, just sitting around the table. I'm Frank out because for a while I've been sitting here. I've been in chats with you guys. I'm in other chats, and I'm like, I'm gonna take my glass off because of the reflection. There's been so much. I've been sitting there advocating for this guy. Like, yes, he just needs the players. It's the board's fault. There's so many things wrong with this club from top to bottom. And in the middle, it's always the manager that gets the boot. Half these players aren't good enough. Half the players are injured. The other half are out on loan. You're paying these players a handsome wage and they're all crying because they're getting booed because the fans are pissed off at them. They're getting paid a handsome wage to kick a pigskin around, aren't they, basically? And they're upset that the fans are booing them. Well, welcome to reality, guys. That's what happens when you don't play to what you're being paid to do, you know? And then with Frank and these coaching staff, what are they teaching these guys now? I'm sat here like, I can't deal with this. I got to half time on the match of the weekend and turned it off. I've got no love lost now for this guy until he's gone. Either we keep until the end of the season and bring in a better manager. We've just potentially got Conor Gallagher. Great. Now go and get me Belieber, Coney Mainu, someone else to go along with Gallagher, someone to add more depth to that midfield because I can't keep seeing Archie Gray playing that midfield. He's just terrible.
Go get me a new
40
manager.
million
That's what I would say.
40 million on a kid that can't retain a ball. Can't pass the ball. And then you got Bergville, can't retain a ball.
It's not the kid's fault, though, Corey, is it? It's sort of they've been brought in as first team players with injuries and lack of squad depth. It's not their fault. It's not an ideal situation for them. And either situation for them is sort of being dipped in and out when things are going well. It's a bit. I think it's a bit harsh to go after them.
Yeah, I mean, also, I think, like, forget about playing noughts and crosses with the tactics board. The guy's failing at tiddlywinks and changed his own shadow like Peter Pan. This guy,
What do you
I
make of the
was on
substitutions yesterday, Corey? Do you see any sense behind it? Maybe look,
mental.
I'm not based them. I didn't see the sense behind it, but you know, could you see what he was even trying to do?
I rest players for a game at the weekend. I don't know. You're taking off possibly the two players that are making things work, and you're bringing on. There's just no rhyme or reason to bring these guys on because they're just as bad as the players that are on the pitch. But at least Tell and Odeberg were trying something, you know. And then you go and do something as crazy as that. Ben
Let's
Davis.
speak of something positive here, just quickly, Corey. Tell why you mention him. What do you make of his resurgence? You know, given the the tumultuous time he's been through, and it seems like he's sort of coming out the other end.
He might have woken up a bit, but I think he can kick on. I mean, there has to have been something there for Bayern to see a few years ago when he was a young lad in France. You know, there has to be something there, but he needs more senior pros around him to really bring him out. Having a team full of kids and not many senior pros is a bad way of doing things in football. You need senior pros to teach the younger kids. So when those pros have gone and retired, these kids take up the reign and they bring the next fruit. That's how the whole idea of football's meant to work, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Conor Gallagher signing, as long as this happens and he's holding the shirt, great signing. The guy is a leader. I saw people going, oh, he passes backwards, side and side, but he's got an engine on him. He tracks back, he tackles, he intercepts, he headers. He's
scores
a
goals
DM,
from
he
outside
can
the
play
box
everywhere.
as well. But I wonder will he be allowed to do that under Frank?
I don't know with Frank. I don't know what his tactical awareness is now. Just shoot. Just stop trying to pass it into the net. It's like that seed out of the IT crowd, isn't it? He's like, the problem with Arsenal is they're always trying to pass it into the net. Feels like that with Tottenham now, doesn't it? We're looking at us going, why are we just passing it into the 6-yard box? Just shoot. Put your foot on it. Challenge the goalkeeper. Hell, as a goalkeeper, I would rather deal with a shot from outside the box and something from 6 yards in where it could get a deflection off of any player and go in your net. I would rather be making the Hollywood save, the dive to make it look amazing, than trying to deal with 10 players in a box and a ricochet goes in your net. That's more of an embarrassment for a goalkeeper and a long-range shot potentially going in.
Yeah.
Whoever said that one really funny joke of, Thomas Frank, seems to not really rate long shots, but that seems to be all what we're conceding, at the minute. What did he say? Like 1 in every 20 goes in terms of long shot. And it's like, I feel like we've already conceded 20 long shots at this point this season. We're just waiting for one of them to not go in under him.
It's like I've been backing Vicario as well, but now I'm starting to really go off Vicario in goal. Go and find me a goalkeeper that has command of his box, isn't flapping his wrists around in the air when the ball comes in. Give me an old-fashioned keeper to come up and punch it so it'd go halfway down the pitch. Something like that. Or a guy that can catch a ball when a cross comes in, like your Schmeichels, like your Kahns, like Buffon, a guy that can catch a ball. What happened to a goalkeeper using his hands and not his feet?
Yeah.
This whole modern day goalkeeping myth is just beyond me. Like, just put a guy in the goal, command his box, and keep the ball out of his net. I don't want to see a goalkeeper playing with his feet.
Just
maybe
take
that's
this
just
one
me
from
being
Jerome.
old-fashioned.
No, I mean it's probably reasonable. Just take this one from Jerome Corey saying, "Where's Rhino? I'm really interested to know whether he is still giving Frank a free pass."
I don't know. I haven't talked to Ryan in a few weeks, to be honest with you. So
he's probably in the dumps right now with how things are going.
Ryan shows up when he was getting results, and when he's not getting results, he's nowhere to be seen.
He's hiding. Yeah, he's hiding.
It's like Joe Hendry. You say his name and Ryan appear, won't he?
We'll have to send out the search party for Rhino.
Yeah, he's probably looking.
I know
for
he's
Thomas
somewhere
Frank.
in Scotland, so you're closer, Dave, than what I am.
He's
probably
on
looking
holidays.
for Thomas Frank so he can be his taxi ride out of the club. Rhino is probably trying to find a way to pick him up and get him out of there.
Frank's hair and telling him everything's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Frank, please don't leave.
Maybe just on this
I'm
though,
now like,
Corey, were you in the team free pass? There were a lot of not just Ryan. Like, we don't need to pick
not
out
so
Ryan
much the
solely.
team
Like,
free
there were a lot of
pass.
people
I
that
wanted to see more. I wanted to see more from him because I went through 2 years of being Ange out from day one because I did my homework on the guy from talking to my mates that are Celtic fans to previous things he's done at other clubs and his past and his injury record. I didn't want that for Spurs because obviously our medical team is probably about as useful as Joseph Fritzl.
Jesus.
Not a great, to be honest with you.
Great metaphor there.
I'm just sat here like, really, is this really what I want to see Frank do? He's suffering because the board aren't pulling their hands out. You know, the Lewises are one of the top 10 richest families in the world, and they're not pulling their money out of the pocket. They're using the money that the fans are generating, and they have done for 20 years. They're not really putting their money in. It's what money we make from staying in the league positions up 10th upwards, being in Europe, challenging for the FA Cup, the League Cup. They're using that money. They're not sticking their hands in their own pockets. And if this is going to happen with Conor Gallagher, where's this money come from? Is it the 100 million war chest? Is it from selling Average Johnson, which I'm glad he's gone?
That's what essentially we've done, though, isn't it? We've sold Johnson, brought in Conor Gallagher, more or less 5 million between the difference.
Yeah, and then we've lost Kudus until at least April. Who have we got?
Frank
on the right
doesn't like forward players anyway. He'd probably rather play Dragusin up there, to be honest.
He's potentially going back to Italy, isn't he? From what I recall, back to Rome, going to Rome or something on loan. And you're going to lose a player that is actually a solid centre back just because we're not playing him. I think he's a quality player. I think he's a solid player. He doesn't get into the team of the year a couple of seasons ago in Italy to be a mug. It's like Romero got into the team of the year, didn't he? And then we brought him. Seems to be whatever defender has got into team of the year in Italy, we've gone out and signed. So that's Paratici working is like magic, isn't it? I mean,
to be honest with you, though, I think Dragusin's agent makes too much noise. You know, I think, you know, where we need a bit more stability, you know, I think he makes way too much noise personally.
Yeah. I mean, agents nowadays are just the mouthpieces for the players, and it just gets boring listening to an agent speak. I want to hear the player speak, not the agent. Not the agent's agent, not the agent's wife. I want to hear the player speak, what he thinks is his position of the club, if it's tenable or untenable. I want to know what the player is honestly thinking about the club, not what Joe, the agent, says, or his wife. I want to know what the player says, because it's the player that makes the decision if he wants to leave.
Yeah.
And it's just mouthpiece after mouthpiece with all these agents. I just want to hear something positive, like Gallagher. When I saw Villa are in for him and they're like, I was like, he's going to Villa. Great. Who are we going to look at next? And then in the last hour or so, it's like he's coming to Spurs. All right, great. Now get me a Belieber, or get me Kobe Mainu, get me Kone, get me someone to go alongside Gallagher. Then we can play Polini, Gallagher, and someone else with Xavi. Tell or Odebear are going to have to be the wingers while we use Richarlison. I mean, hopefully, if he is our top goal scorer and we have this Nels for selling our top goal scorers in the last 3 years, maybe we can get rid of Richarlison back to Everton for 20 million. Who knows?
That's true. That's true. I couldn't believe reports came out the other day that he wants to leave. Tom, we should have booted him out a long time ago. But Corey, we've got to keep this moving, my brother. Thank you very much for calling in. Appreciate your time, and go and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Oh, I'm going to have dinner now, so
yeah.
Oh, nice.
Man. Take your mind off the Spurs. Appreciate you. Thanks for coming on.
Later, my man.
See you, Corey.
Bye-bye. Good call in there from Corey again. Good to see him. Good to see him. Got one more guest for you guys, and then we will be ending up. But first, we got this from Lazy. It says Frank plus Tottenham equals Potter plus Chelsea. Absolutely spot on. And then we've got this from Tom Lowry. Having to endure Frank until the end of the season is making me seriously depressed. He's affecting how I feel about Tottenham. Even if we score, I don't flinch. He has sucked the life out of me. I think it's starting to get like that with many fans. The problem is we score when the game is already way beyond us. That's the big problem, Tom Lowry. So it makes it hard to sort of celebrate it, I suppose, you know, to the nth degree you would if you were to score, to go one up, I suppose. Yeah. Big up, Tom. Good to see you, my man.
And maybe someone who could breathe some life into us. We have Vince Vega.
Let's bring him in.
Hey,
Good
Vince.
Evening, sir. How are you keeping,
hello,
my man?
boys. It's great to see you two munchkins again after the last time.
Yeah, wish we were under better circumstances, Vince. Please, man, just tell us how it's going for you as a Spurs fan.
Well, it's look, a devastation, of course, you know, and I've been with it through your pods and Dave knows how much I feel about what you guys do, and you don't get enough credit, and you put your hearts and your sleeves out there. And I was a bit appalled with some of the comments that Dave is getting, and he's a passionate dude, and we have to respect people's passions, because that's the reason why you follow football clubs. And I know we're upset, I know we're angry, I know it's devastation, but can we be patient at all? But we don't live in a world that's patient. We want a convenience. We want everything now. So I'm not going to kind of reach out there and say everyone should think a certain way, because we should. That's what we should allow everyone to have. Respect where
Yeah.
people are coming from, and we're
Yeah.
all in it together. So that's what I want to include, and I want to break my flat cap virgin. I'm actually speaking on Dave finally after
Yeah,
all these years, and
man, it's
Matt
good to see you.
Hayes and all that.
You gave us great company at the game that day, my man. Absolutely brilliant company. I urge, if there's anyone down at the game and Vince is around, make sure you go and chill out with the guy. He's absolutely great company. But Vince, look, let's find out where you are on Thomas Frank right now. Do you believe we should give him a bit more time? Because to be fair, like, we're sort of trying to pose that question, see if there is anybody on that sort of pose of thought, or are you sort of done with the guy now anyway, and you think we need to change?
No, I think his heart's in the right place. I know it's strange. I know people are condemning his tactics. And I have to admit, I'm confused by when you're going for a win, you're taking off, you're attacking players like Odeberg in the other game. And some of it doesn't make sense, I know. But, we're not going to get any consistency if we don't give this manager a chance to get out of the situation. And I'm just worried we'll be here again next year doing the same thing with the latest. So we
Very well
just have
could be.
to. What we need is Shawnee. Shawnee, the guy. Your Shawnee. He has all the financials and he has all the bits and pieces. He can tell you how feasible it is to sack a manager now, get another one in, or just stay with what we have with Frank. Give him a chance. I feel a bit sorry for him after the cup instance. I really do. He's probably gone to the interview. Someone's handed him a coffee. It's cold. He's
Yeah.
zombied out after that devastating defeat, and he's it's I was watching the other influencers, the Tottenham channels that you go on as well, and a guy rang in, and I think it was actually your pod, Dave, when the guys from not Kildare, do you know the last pod with the two lads
Yeah,
from
the
Ireland?
Kildare Spurs groups, yeah.
That lad that said about he had the empathy for Thomas Frank, that's changed me all about. I think we've lack of empathy, and I know the guy get paid, and I go to the games. I'm a season ticket holder. I don't go to every one of them because I work every second weekend, so I have to pass them about. But the thing is, I am paying my money into the thing. I know, like, I'm making a commitment. Everyone is that. I will never ever talk down to anyone who's paying their money and tell them to think a certain way. But the way
But
I
you're
feel
entitled to
about
your
it,
opinion, though, lad.
the way I feel about it is, I just think if we showed people support and backed them a bit more, maybe they come out. The way it's going is incendiary. It's incendiary. The players are after the fans. The fans are after the manager. The board is after everybody. It's a cycle of absolute. To see Poro and to see Van de Ven, Van de best player, to be calling out a fan or whatever the story is, he doesn't deserve that. This season's just been crazy. We've played well in patches, but we lose and go down, and then a spirited comeback. It's just, I don't know how, but I want to say a bit of patience. I personally think if we can get over that West Ham game, and there's a bit of hope, maybe. But I agree. Hands up. Hold my hands up. If he's losing two or three of the next games, I'm going to leave it in your hands to tell us how to. Because I don't know if you can. Two or three bad defeats, Dave and Jack. You guys will have a nervous breakdown. And
I
I'm
think
all right.
I think the West Ham one is like, even if people aren't already on the boat of Frank out, if he loses to West Ham, I don't see how many people would be left in supporting the guy, to be honest. Vince Vega. But I mean, do you think he was let down by like the board? Do you think he's been let down by the players? Do you think it's his own fault for the situation he finds himself in?
Yeah.
It's possible he's gone in with a system like Ruben Amorim and been very kind of dogmatic, and it's too much for the players too quick.
Yeah, that could be.
And he's got a lot of backroom staff. So I think he's got to learn and grow possibly to what he's got there. And Spurs, loads of injuries. Solanke's not been about. Richarlison's in and out. And Madison's out. It's going on and on. No Kulusevski. It's a complete SHIT show, as Dave likes to say. It is a complete at the moment. It's a perfect storm. And after the European Cup success, like, it's like some sort of calm has come back on Tottenham. Oh, you got this, so you're going to get a load of pile of this coming. That's the way I feel. So it's like yin and yang. So that's where I am. Any other questions, boys? I'm glad to break my duck and just say I exist.
Oh, it's good to have you on.
See you, man. Yeah.
It's good to have a difference of opinion as well, you know. And look, you know, I can understand your point of view, you know, sort of wanting to. I don't agree with it, you know. You know.
Yeah, I know.
I've been on Frank's case for quite some time now, but I do appreciate you coming on with a difference of opinion, because it's not easy to do that at the end of the day. So fair play to you for coming on and stating your case in that regard. Look, let's get your thoughts on the new signing, Conor Gallagher, my man. I mean, do you think he'll come in and help improve the situation? He's a signing that is ready to go, Premier League made.
Have you any other details about that? I only heard about that now.
So we've signed him for 40 million, you know, basically, and he picked us over Aston Villa.
40 million?
Yeah.
That cheap or expensive, do you think?
I don't know, bro. I don't know. That's a lot. That's throwing money at. I suppose Man United were after him as well in a way.
I think Aston Villa were the team we hijacked, apparently. He was going to go to Aston Villa.
He's proven quality, pedigree. I like his bite in midfield. You know, Højbjerg. To me, I feel he's a bit of a I don't know his buy. I did like Højbjerg. I liked his passion and his commitment and his drive, and he'd pop up with a goal. And I don't know. Like, I did really I thought there was a player there, and I think that's what Gallagher can do. It can pop. I think we shouldn't really have too many expectations. I think Paulinho could be a similar sort of player, but we need bodies in there. And I think good squad player, 40 million is probably going. I would have liked about maybe 30 million or something like that, but obviously Villa drove it up. So I think that's okay. I think that's fine.
It's very athletic. Yeah.
Anything else coming up?
We could probably, let me see what other questions we have for you here, Vince. And then we do have Dermotron in the background. Might as well just bring on Dermotron, you know, just as maybe the last and final guest, see if Dermotron has anything to grill you on. Big up, Dermo. Good to see you, brother. But yeah, let's get you another question here, Vince. Oh yeah, what are your thoughts on the injuries, man? Like the fact that Bergvall is out, Bentancur is now out for a long period, Mohamed Kudus is out. You know, last season everyone blamed Ange for the injuries. They haven't really gotten better under Thomas Frank. So what do you think it's down to, the injuries?
Yeah, could be a bit of a rotation thing, like what Dave was saying. Keep using Kudus until you break him. I do like Kudus down the right. I wouldn't blame his lack of goal scoring or anything. He has been providing assists, especially at the beginning of the season, and has tailed off big time. But again, I still persist with Kudus. The injuries are very maddening, completely maddening. I don't know what's going on with the like Richarlison going off the other day. Shocking, man. It's just like can't catch
Richarlison, I forgot about.
Can I throw a conspiracy theory out there?
Go ahead.
Do you think players are maybe just taking the easy route out and sort of tapping out a little bit, taking themselves out of the limelight because they can't handle it?
No, definitely not. I think it's more like they do that on the pitch. I don't think they'd be just jumping off or cowarding out. I'm a bit down about bloody Johnson going as well. Like, he's going to do well. He's gone to Palace, hasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Thank God.
He's the hero.
The Lord is
but isn't he the hero? He's the hero, you know, isn't he? Oh, bloody hell. At the back post, I was always thinking about him. Oh, he'll save us. He'll be at the back post. Okay, Dave, we disagree again. But seriously, we do get on. We get on very well.
No, we do. We do, and it's a perfect example. You know, we can see things different through different lenses, lad, but we can still have respect for each other and have a bit of banter and stuff like that.
As long as I've got a pint in my hand and you've got a cigarette in your hand, it's fine. Like.
By the way, what do you make of
Dermo,
this comment here? Just
Dermo,
quickly.
go on. Dermatron, it's great to see you again, buddy.
You too, buddy. Good, you two. Had a good day with you when we were over for the Palace game. Had a great day. It was enjoyable.
Yeah,
one of the good days. I really enjoyed that day. Great to see you again, bud.
Yeah. Right, Dave. What's the message?
You know, this is not the first time you know, someone's come in and put this in the comments today, but you know, the people are linking, you know, bringing Conor Gallagher in here because Poch made him Chelsea captain. That maybe they're thinking Poch will be here in the summer.
I agree.
Think so?
I just come off my own stream saying exactly the same thing. That there's probably is a bit conspiracy theory. Dave needs to go and get his Team for the hat. I think I need to get one myself, Dave.
Well, everyone's been saying that to me for years, but you know, I just get the apology forms out every single season. Anyway, go on, Derma.
Well, I think that is a good shout. Also, just want to give you guys and your listeners a bit of an update. The Lookman deal is not done yet to Fenerbahce, by the way. Spurs are trying to get and hijack that deal as well. So keep an eye out for that. And also, Spurs are eyeing up Ukrainian goalkeeper Andrei Luin, the 26-year-old shot stopper from Real Madrid. Spurs, he wants more game time, and Spurs are exploring that deal as well. So, out of being nowhere, Tottenham have certainly burst into life.
You believe we'll get Lookman or that keeper from Madrid, though? And is that keeper from Madrid even an upgrade on Vicario? That's the thing. Is that more of a sideways step, a bit more of a gamble?
I think he's more of an upgrade on Kingsley, if I'm being honest. I don't think he's an upgrade on Vicario. I think he's more an upgrade on Kingsley.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I think Lookman, if you offer Lookman the right money, Lookman will come. Are Spurs going to break their own race structure now? This is the big question point. This is the big question mark. This is a deal where Fenerbahce say, right, we're going to offer you this much. Will Tottenham say, right, we're going to break our own race structure. We're going to offer you more. We're going to outbid you. This is, I think if you do, Lookman will come. We are an attractive club. We're a London club. Tottenham are a big name. Just because we're having a crap season doesn't make Tottenham a small club all of a sudden or not a big name all of a sudden. We are a big name. And it shows by getting the Conor Gallagher deal over the line. We can still attract decent players. And I think he is an upgrade. I'm just thinking of him and Palunia in that midfield. Conor Gallagher and Palunia together. That's mouthwatering.
So you don't agree with 24 here? Says it's a shit signing.
No, I don't agree. I think he's a great sign. I think he's a box-to-box midfielder we've desperately needed. I really do. I think it's a great sign. I really do. But everyone's got an opinion. Everyone's got their own say in it. And I enjoyed that. And that's what football's about, isn't it? 1 minute you're down in the dumps. Next minute you get a signing like this and it perks you up. It makes you feel good again. It makes you feel good about the club we support.
So you Frank back in then?
No, I'm still Frank out. You can piss off now.
I will say he does score goals, Conor Gallagher. So, and none of our strikers seem to score goals, or none of our forwards score goals. So, might as well just get more midfielders in the team and defenders in the team that can score goals. And he is capable of that, Conor Gallagher.
Can I mention something that Adamela Lookman? He's got Premier League experience, and he's playing with Nigeria. I've seen him in the AFCON. Very, very interesting. Very nippy, quick, speedy, intelligent. I think he would be a good crack if you can get him at a proper price. Man United were looking at him. Well, they're not looking. What?
Where are we?
I haven't seen any links to him, to be honest, but we know Dermot pays attention to the transfer news more than we probably do.
There's been no link for him. I haven't seen any links for him, or haven't been told of any links for him. And believe me, I've been sitting waiting on my WhatsApp to be very quiet until this evening. And Sunday, I think the protests have something to do with this as well, guys, on the weekend.
Yeah, I agree.
I think this wasn't the same thing with Bentancur and Kulu. The fans were going mad, and then suddenly out of nowhere, in the space of 24 hours, we bought them Bentancur and Kulu. for Conte. I don't think this is the end of it. I do believe there's more signings coming in, but I think Spurs might shock the fans this window. That's all I'm going to say.
Let me ask Vince as well. There is protest organised ahead of the West Ham game. And Dermot, we'll get your answer off the back of it as well, because I know, you are the opinion in the summer you have to wait for the window closed to protest. So I wonder if you're still sort of along that line of thinking. But Vince, you like you said, you're a season ticket holder. Do you agree with the protest ahead of the West Ham game?
I've been protesting financially. Like it's demotivating, demoralizing when you're being asked to spend £90 per ticket for a Slava Prague game or whatever it was. And I've not been to a Champions League game this season because I'm a silver holder. I don't have any obligation to buy. I didn't go to the Villa game. It's just like psychologically, I'm a bit broken, and I'm a bit, I pay for the ticket. I'm a bit, bit like not a fair weather fan, but it's motivation. And if I don't feel in that mood to go and throw out like £100 and then expenses and the whole lot, I can't afford it, bro. I'm just able to kind of get the ticket done and keep in the loop at least. But so there are fans out there that are protesting, like it's not as pricey in the stadium for a beer. It's not as bad as other places, but with the ticket price, I can't believe what they're asking for the tickets. It's
insanity.
Yeah. So, and also I wanted to say about Poch. I think I'd love to see him back again. It's just like heartstrings, but will he be back? And he'll have the choice between Spurs and Man United, because Man United are thinking about him as well. So keep an eye on that. So I don't know. I wouldn't be. I just want the morale. I'm a bit of happy clapper as well, like Jack. I want to. I just want to be happy.
Yeah, me too.
We
That's
all
what's
do.
frustrating about this
That's
season.
What we strive for in life.
I think probably the KOD, the kiss of death, was I did say going into the season, it would take a whole lot for me not to just sort of be, like I said, after winning the Europa League, I kind of said I'll be happy clapping for a whole season. Thomas Frank has done his very best to really challenge that for me. That's where I'm kind of at. I didn't really have that much investment going into the season. Just want to see Spurs win some games, have us, I think I was saying to Dave, I just want to challenge around 7th, 8th sort of position. I'll be happy with that. Maybe a cup run to like a semifinal. I sort of in the very beginning, my expectations were quite low for the season. I wasn't as desperate for anything. Thomas Frank has done his very best to really kill that for me. So that's where I'm kind of at with it this season. It's really killed any sense of momentum I felt like I had, after the Europa League, to be honest. But maybe I just need to go to a game with you again, Vince, and then it'll be restored for me.
Yeah, I'll power you guys up again, the whole three. But I want to add, just before I go, or whenever you're going, I think the board are really bad. They're not coming out with clear direction.
I agree.
At least if they came out with Thomas Frank all together and had some sort of like maybe at the announcement of this guy of Gallagher, maybe they can come out and expand and one of the board or somebody visible that will be a face of the board and what's going on and give a bit of hope. The fans, we need a bit of direction here.
Yeah.
A bit of hope, a bit of inspiration, a bit, there's nothing there. There's a vacuum.
Yeah. No, absolutely spot on. Even if they do want to pursue with Thomas Frank and that is their plan and they're steadfast in it, come out, communicate with with the fans, ask for calm, ask for patience, admit to wrongdoing, and stuff like that. And I think in general, a lot of people would calm down, but they never say anything. So, everyone is left to make up their own mind without any sort of direction or anything like that. And that's where it becomes, people infighting and all this sort of bollocks. I absolutely agree with you. But look, that's why there's protest on this ownership. They always hide. They're always coward. The only times they come out is like under Postecoglou, first 10 games, things are going well. Daniel Levy's back out there. Look at me, I'm great. Fucking we've got our Tottenham back and stuff. That's the only time you ever see them come out when things are positive. It's never ever when, when a manager's under pressure. It's so infuriating. But Dharma, let's get your thoughts on the protest ahead of the game this weekend. Do you think it's the right thing to do to put pressure on the board?
Yeah, I do. I do think it's the right thing to do. I think I've been quite constantly saying this on my channel that they should have kept up the protest. They should never have stopped. When Levy left, they should have continued and continued. I think once you stop protesting, you give the board a bit of leeway, thinking, okay, they've gone away. Levy's gone now, and they're not protesting anymore. They're not on us. And I think.
But in the summer, weren't you giving out the contrary, saying that they shouldn't be protesting before the window closes?
I was wrong. I shouldn't have.
Yeah.
I was wrong on that opinion. I was wrong on that opinion because if you think about it, I know me and Rain had that bit of a dust up, but we've talked about it a lot since. And I shouldn't have said that. I think it was right to keep protesting because you had to keep the pressure on. Once you take the pressure off the board will do what they've been doing. Once the pressure's on, look, Change for Tottenham come out and said we're doing the protest on Saturday. What have we done? We've gone out and bought Conor Gallagher. Now you can say, is it a coincidence?
Yeah.
Is it not a coincidence? I mean, I've written on my X page. I mean, I've written this. I said we at THFC2 are fully behind Change for Tottenham. A change is needed at Tottenham. The house that Bill Nick has built has been built, knocked down. Nick, who don't care about our great history or what's ahead. We as a club is dead. We have no soul left. The spirit of Bill Nick has gone. We need to save our club. Back Change for Tottenham. And, and always come on your Spurs. We've got to back this protest. People have got to turn up because as much pressure we can put on this board, then that means to know that we haven't given up. We haven't gone away. They've got to keep pressing. They've got to keep pushing. And even in the middle of the window, it's got to be done, Dave. It's got to be done.
Yeah.
Where, look, I do agree. I think if you're being smart about it, do it at the end of the window. And I understand that argument. But I think that's now gone beyond doing that now. We've got to come out. We've got to show what we mean. We spent 12 days doodling. We've been doodling over Thomas Frank. There's nothing coming out from Vinay. There's nothing coming out from the Lewis family. We're as quiet as a church mouse. Things have to change. If they come out and explain it to us, we're all adults. We can understand. We will accept it one way or the other. But we've got to go out and we've got to keep them under pressure. You put them under pressure, they will do things like they've done today and get Conor Gallagher over the line. And I think we've got to, and they've got to bring Poch back in the summer. They have to. He's the only manager I think can unite the fan base, and the fan base will give him time. And I think they will back him. But if you are going to the game on Saturday, go to the protest, show your support. Because I know Billy and the guys at Change for Tottenham make it a family thing as well. So please do go. And, just because it's a protest, show your love for Spurs. We all want our team to be winning. We all want our team to be successful. Just go down, show the guys some support.
Okay. No, big up Dermo. Well said. Well said. And we do have Dermo's link here in the chat, guys. Make sure you do get across. Smash the subscribe button on the channel. Show him some love and support. But guys, I think we'll wrap it up there,
Oh, yeah,
So,
just before you
three
wrap
Irishmen
up,
and an American walk into a bar.
Yeah, just
There's a
before
joke
you wrap
somewhere
up,
there,
all right?
isn't there?
Yes, Vince.
Yeah, just before you wrap up, I want to say that also we have to be aware that with the amazing development of the stadium, with the Rihanna concerts and the go-karting and the NFL and the whole lot and boxing, the board and Spurs, the Lewises, the whole lot, they don't rely. I reckon our percentage of whether the devil may care about football has gone down a lot since the last 10 years, guys. Like, they are making their money off the club and the whole thing and the image. And we're a side note, and they're going to fob us off with a few signings here and there. And, it's I just throwing that out there that, yes, it's great, brilliant. But if the board aren't really focused on football side of things, they are destroying the other side. And I think that we're in a kind of catch-22 situation.
I think a lot of people agree with that.
We are, but that's why I do think people should get down in numbers, because whether it's price of tickets, lack of ambition, direction, managers keep failing at this football club, etc., etc. It's becoming every season now we're starting to end up in a shit show. So regardless of the Conor Gallagher signing, I think people need to realize it's not just about, one signing, all of a sudden we're happy clapping, we're appeased. We need more than this. We know this. So I would hope that people get down in numbers. And we've got this from Kaza. Says, Dave, what is a jack potato? It's essentially a baked potato. Basically, you just wash them, prick some holes in it, some oil on it, some lovely olive oil, you know, a bit of salt, pepper, bake it in the oven for about an hour and a half, take it out, cut the skin down the middle, you know, and then just some cheese, butter, salt, pepper, some beans. Absolutely brilliant. That's what it is, Kaza.
Right. I think we will see you guys all tomorrow for more content. Of course, we'll try to put something out about Conor Gallagher as well, but appreciate you guys. Thank you to Vince and Dermatron for finishing things off with us, closing things out. Thank you to Jerome for the generous support, Tin Man 007, DY, Tom Lowry, Nicholas Walker with probably one of the funniest comments of the evening, saying maybe we've actually signed him as a manager for the club, Conor Gallagher, let alone a player. Thanks to Paul Connor. Sad we couldn't chat tonight, Paul Connor, and big up to Eddie as well.
Yeah.
We'll see you all next time, everybody. Come on, you Spurs as always.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, Spurs.